Chapter 13 deals with a subject matter that's not always the easiest one for people in customer service to deal with, and that is on how to deal with emotional labor. What is emotional labor? Well, it's described in the book as work that involves managing our emotions so that they are consistent with what are considered to be the display rules of the organization, and that's regardless of whether or not they match what the person on the front line is feeling internally. An example as it relates to customer service is that it can be really hard work to project upbeat, positive emotions at all times, as is oftentimes required by customer contact jobs. If we work in a frontline industry where we're dealing one-on-one with customers, it's pretty much a given that it's going to be required that we are positive and upbeat to our customers. Although sometimes it's pretty hard to hard to believe that all organizations subscribe to that notion. If you've ever been treated poorly in a restaurant or at the supermarket, where you know that the main problem is that the server or the cashier is just having a really bad day, and they're passing that bad day on to you. So this is really good, I think, from an interpersonal standpoint on how to deal with stress, on how to deal with emotions. This chapter does a very nice job with it. And of course, managing stress isn't something that pertains to just working in customer service. It pertains to every aspect of life, whether it be getting through a final exam for your customer service class, or trying to figure out how you can get from point A to point B when the roads are coated with ice. Stress itself is not necessarily a bad thing. However, it can become a problem if stress is excessive or if it's unmanaged. And the book talks about ways to learn how to manage stress levels by, one, becoming aware of the nature of stress. What is it that is causing you the stress? Understand that some stress can actually be beneficial, and realize the need to manage undue stress. Are the things we're stressed out about that we really shouldn't be? And if so, how do we manage that? How do we set that aside? Some of the factors that can induce or reduce stress as it pertains to customer service: individual worker characteristics, working conditions can cause stress, tactics for time management can help reduce stress, and putting in place strategies for managing task pressures. Now, some of the work conditions that contribute to stress include work that is nonstop action where you don't have a break. Management style, if you're working for a less than ideal manager, that can certainly add to stress. Interpersonal relationship problems that cause problems on the front line. Unclear work rules, not really knowing what the guidelines are, what you can or can't do. That's certainly a source of stress right there. Career concerns, are there people getting laid off in your organization? You're wondering, oh my gosh, am I the next on the block? And a poor working environment that can pertain to a few different things, as the book talks about. Techniques that facilitate handling stress. Target your efforts on the most important tasks. What are the things you should be focused on, and put your efforts there. Be a goal-getter, not just a goal-setter. Do the constructive things first and avoid time wasters that are taking you away from the main task at hand. Effectively delegate even if you aren't the boss. We do have opportunities to delegate even if we're not a supervisor by working closely with our colleagues. Helping set priorities and mapping those out day to day, week to week is a really great way to help kind of reduce the stress as well. And the book talks about how to use priority task listing each day, and gives suggestions such as listing key tasks, prioritizing your tasks, checking off completed tasks, which is a great way to feel good at the end of the day. You've got your list of things you want to accomplish that day, and checking them off when you're done and looking over that list, and you can see that you did accomplish something, even if it came with some stress. You achieved something that day. What I'll actually do is, at the end of the day, I will have a list of things I'll check off, but if I think of things that I did that weren't on the list, I'll add them and then put a check mark next to them. It's a great little moment of personal victory in day-to-day work. Fostering teamwork and avoiding time wasters. Some of the different time wasters that we encounter in the workplace include interruptions or fragmented work, unproductive communication, clutter, paperwork, overloaded files, a messy work environment. Procrastination is a pretty big one. I have to wonder how much, for those who work in office settings, how much the internet has contributed to loss of productivity, because employees find themselves doing something on the internet that doesn't pertain to their workplace, i.e., checking Facebook, etc. And then self-overload, putting too much upon yourself. Delegation is probably one of the most powerful tools for dealing with work pressure. Like we talked about, it can be used even if you aren't the boss. And what you need to do is delegate any work that others could do more efficiently, cheaper, or better than you can. There's nothing wrong with passing a task off if someone else is going to do it better. One, it's going to be a relief to not have you having to worry about it, and it's going to get done better, and the organization is going to benefit as well. So that helps reduce stress in that manner. The problem is delegation is not an easy task for supervisors or for just trying to delegate to a colleague. Reason why people fail to delegate, having low confidence in others, thinking that they might not be able to do the task that you're asking them. The can-do-it-myself reasoning that I kind of fall prey to in my organization, where I think it's just easier for me to do it myself. The fear of not getting credit, we want to, if we pass a task on to someone else, then we're going to lose the opportunity to prove ourselves to be able to complete that particular task. And lack of skills needed to explain the delegated work. It's one thing to pass a task off to someone, but it also comes from an explanation, and sometimes it's not easy to explain to someone how they should be doing something. So delegation is a great skill set to have. It's a great way to reduce stress, but however, it does have some drawbacks. Delegation can go wrong if you fail to keep the communication channels open. It'll fail if you, delegation can go wrong if you fail to allow for mistakes, meaning you accept the fact that mistakes can be made and recognize that up front. If you don't follow up on a delegation, that's where it can go wrong as well. And if you fail to delegate enough authority, so in the delegation of a task, letting the person know they are empowered to finish that task. So, like I said, just a good chapter. This concept of emotional labor pertains to more than just our workplace environment. It includes to day-to-day life. And I hope you took away some skills that can help you manage your stress as a student, as a parent, as a partner. We're all faced with stress on a daily basis, especially here in interior Alaska as we enter the cold and dark season. Learning how to manage stress is going to make ourselves and those around us happier people. So that concludes Chapter 13. One more chapter to go, Chapter 14, before we wrap up this semester. Thanks and good luck with the quiz.